बीजापूरगदेक्षुकार्मुकुरजाब्चक्राब्जपाशोत्फल व्रीयग्रस्वपिशानरत्नकलशैः प्रोद्यत्करां भूरुवः देह्यो वल्लभया सपद्मकरया आश्लिष्टोज्ज्वलद्भूषया विश्वोत्पत्तिविपत्तिसंसदिकरो विघ्नेश इष्टार्थदः श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं धूतीक्रमं मण्डलं वीरान्ध्यष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकम् श्रीमन्मालिनी मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम् मधर्मे मधुकैटभग्निमहिषः प्राणापहारोऽध्यमे हेलानिर्मितधूम्रलोचनपदे हे झण्डमुण्डर्धिनी निःशेषीकृतरक्तबीजदनुजे नित्ये शुम्भापहे शुम्भध्वंसिनि संहर सुदुरितन् दुर्गे नमस्तेऽम्बिके. Welcome all of you for the second day in continuous. It's with the understanding of Srividya. Yesterday we begin to get into the concepts of Srividya is not merely about rituals or mantras. It is about the understanding of reality in itself and how the divine appears as this universe and how we individuals experience limitation, bondage, and suffering. And in relationship to this understanding, let us continue our foundations further to understand very important questions, students, because any of the realizations, starts with questions actually. Why? You know, why me? Why this is happening? And this foundational why question, which Srividya answers, is why we feel limited, actually. Number one. And now, to understand why we feel limited, we should understand another question, that is, why desire arises, actually. Why desire arises. And if we have to understand about desire, we have to understand another why question, why actions bind us, actually. Why actions bind us. And these three questions are completely disproportionate to the understanding that how divine itself contradicts with these human experiences, actually. Is there any contradiction, or it is inversely proportional to the human experience? So these are the three important questions, the philosophical understanding, which any of the school of thought should answer us, actually. Unless and until there is no answer to these questions, then there is no building of the theory. And when there is no building of the theories not there, then there is no practice. Because what is that we are actually aspiring as seekers is very important for us. And Sri Vidya answers these three questions. So let us understand that these three questions begins with only one foundational truth. It is one single word which we all are very centered and focused upon. What is that word? Use the chat box to answer. One single, not even, no, it's one single letter. It's not even a word, actually. I've given you a nice clue. Correct. Absolutely. Good. Maybe my clue helped all of you. Yes. This I is very important for us, actually. Without this I, the sense of I desire, I act, I succeed, I fail, I enjoy, I suffer. You know, this feeling, that I am the doer is in Sri Vidya, it is called as Mala or Malam. You know, Malam means, technically it is called as excreta, actually. The biology in biology we call the excretion. So Srividya recognizes this as mala actually. And what mala is this? Karma mala. Karma mala. And because of this, we feel, we own the results. We own all the results, either good or bad. We own the results. But this is where you have to understand something very important, students. The Shastras tell us something very profound. The very idea that that claims the ownership is completely faulty in nature. This is what Srividya let us know, and it wanted us to believe, and it wanted us to practice. You know, it is like a movie, the character thinking that he or she is running the movie, while actually the whole script is playing automatically, and there is a director who is behind this. Yes or no? We all get fascinated with the actors who are appearing on the screen. Yes, but how those actors are doing that? There is a director behind it, actually. We completely forget that. And we are so much focused and so much get drenched, so much get mesmerized with what appears on the screen, actually. But the reality is the director, actually, not these actors. So, similarly, we don't see that our individuality itself is completely constructed, because there are a lot of background things which we have completely forgotten, or rather not aware of, and we simply put forward things that appear to be seemingly the truthful realities of life, actually. Now, from this I story, basically, me, that we always carry, that is the foundation for desire, students. The desire arises the more we are associated with this I concept, actually. You know, and this desire is termed in the Srividya theory as raga. It's called as raga, not Sangeeta Raga. This is a different raga. Okay. We don't desire randomly. This is something very important for us to understand. Particularly, we have to understand this from all our women students who are sitting in this uh, class. I went for a lot of shopping for the Sri Chakra Pratishtapana, and so many ladies, they were so fascinated with me, and even the shopkeepers, those who were there, I just picked up almost like 25 to 30 saris in less than 8 minutes. I just said like this one, this one, this one, this one, just looking into the colors, I just saw one or two saris, the patterns, and then I decided, okay, these are the saris, just pick for me. They'll be like, how do you do this actually? That's, but I was seeing the worst part is, you would have also experienced, or you would have done this. I have selected a few set of saris, and there were ladies who were standing next to me. They were desiring my saris actually. They wanted my sari. They were wanted to take this. I like they were going on seeing a lot of saris, but they were not satisfied with what they were doing, because I was simultaneously absorbing everything. But they wanted the saris which I randomly just picked up actually. So we don't desire randomly. We desire things that strengthen our story of this me, actually, that strengthen the story of me. For example, like I said, the same story of the sari picking, which color, which texture, which material, whether it is double shade, how it looks on me. You think so much on that. You ask so many opinion, how it should be, how do I look in this, what is the appearance. There's a self conceptualization, there's a conceptualization that comes from others. So what is this all about? I want success, I want respect. I want comfort. I want recognition. I want specific relationships, actually. So, all these desires resolve around maintaining and enhancing that me, actually. Okay. But no matter how much we achieve, happiness never ever becomes a permanent thing, actually. Why? Because our knowledge is very limited. Our knowledge is very limited. We only know what we experience. This is something very important. We only know what we experience. This limited knowledge is called Vidya, not true wisdom, but limited knowledge of this material world. Okay? And because our desire and knowledge are limited, our actions are also limited. And this limited power of action in Srividya theory is called as Kala. 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 So, therefore, to sum up what I'm saying in 3 points, so we have limited desire, raga, limited knowledge, vidya, limited action, ka, kala, raga, vidya, kala. No matter how powerful a person becomes, their influence is always within a circle. Yes or no? It's always within the circle. So now, to understand why this happens, we have to understand certain key terminologies. The first key terminology is samskara. Samskara. Samskara means they are the grooves of conditioning formed by our past experiences. Every experience leaves an impression. All the ways we think about ourselves. I am confident. I am weak. I am intelligent. I am unlucky. I am responsible. I am emotional. All these are what? They are the product of our samskaras. In reality, samskaras slowly become what we think actually. That is the me story. It is becoming imprinted deeply within us, and we carry it forward in different stages of our life and even in afterlife. Now, along with these samskaras, the Srividya theory explains that there is something deeper happens. You remember I introduced the word malas. Now we are getting a little more deeper into this. There are three kinds of malas which the Srividya theory let us know. The three impurities. What are the three impurities? The first one is anava mala. The first one is anava mala, the deep sense of lack and incompleteness. The deep sense of lack and incompleteness. The second one is Mayaya Mala. Mayaya Mala. What is it? The sense of separation. There's a deep sense of separation. And the third one, as I first told you, it is the Karma Mala, the sense of doership. So these are the three malas in which we are completely stuck. The Anava mala, the deep sense of lack and incompleteness, the Mayaya mala, the sense of separation, and Karma mala, the sense of doership. And among these, the most fundamental is the Anava mala. This is all about that I am not complete. There is something is missing and I am not enough. Because of this inner lack, we constantly seek what is called as fulfillment. We are constantly seeking fulfillment. Like, for example, we think if I get this job, only this job, I will be happy. Number one. Number two, if only I get into a relationship with this particular person, I will be satisfied. Maybe number three, if only I achieve this level of status, I will be complete. I'm sure these examples are very worthy enough that you all have been, all have undergone. or experience this, but no matter what we gain, the feeling of lack returns again. Why? Because no external object can fill an internal incompleteness, students. Please write this and keep. I will repeat it for you. No external object, individual, relationships can fulfill the sense of internal incompleteness. Because this is unfortunately the tragedy of this world, actually. This is the tragedy of this world. The moment you are going to realize this and you are going to accept it, digest it, you don't need anything, including Srividya or any Vidya. You are set free. But it is very difficult to realize it and digest it, actually. Clear to all of you? Clear? Then comes what is called as the Mayaya Mala, the sense of separation, the second Mala. I feel I am here, the world is outside, you are separate, others are separate, I am different, you are different. Even those we love deeply, we never confuse them with ourselves. The strong boundary is there in all of us. That is me, not me. Yes or no? Me and not me. You remember, you connect it with yesterday's lecture, because every lecture is scaffolding, and you need to connect with yesterday's idea of what I spoke on Panditaha Samadarshinaha. You remember yesterday I spoke about Panditaha Samadarshinaha. What should happen to somebody with the knowledge? They should be seeing everything as the same, actually. Everything is the same. Everybody is the same. But this is what is it is like, because of not having that kind of a foundational understanding, we don't feel that samadarshinaha, actually. That sense of equality is not there, actually. So, that not me is what is creating the foundations of this material world, which is called as the four-letter word. Guess what it is? The four-letter word. The chat box. Nan yar. Somebody's writing in Tamil and all. It's strictly an English class, actually. Somebody answered this correctly. It is Maya. Exactly. That is Maya. Me versus not me. That is Maya. So together, these malas create the whole human experience. The whole of human experience. Now, because of samskaras and these malas, we enter a cycle. What cycle? You can make a note. Experience. It's a kind of a flow chart. Experience hyphen impression, impression hyphen desire, desire hyphen action, action hyphen outcome, and outcome hyphen new impressions. Once again, experience, impression, desire, action, outcome, new impression. And the sum total of all these keywords, students, it is called as karma. This is called as karma. Karma, you have to take this in your brains immediately like a medicine. Karma is not a punishment. Karma is not a punishment. The moment we hear karma, we hear an abusive word actually. It's like it's not karma is not a punishment. It is simply the natural law of cause and effect. Experience, impression, desire, action, outcome, impression is equal to karma. What is karma? It's a natural law, and that natural law is based on what? Cause and effect theory. Our past impressions shape our present actions. Our past impressions shape our present actions. Our present actions shape future experiences. Past, present, and future. Past impression, present actions shaping future experiences. This endless cycle in theoretically in Srividya, it is called as samsara. This is called as samsara. Are you able to follow all of you? I'm breaking down these are very complex concepts, and I'm trying to break down as much as possible so that you understand it actually. So this is technically called as the samsara. And we do what is called as punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. Reborn again, die again, born again, die again, not merely physically, psychologically, emotionally also. That's the worst part. Psychologically and emotionally also, we keep dying and we come back again. And the me story is recreated again and again. Now, you tell me, after listening to this, the exact theory that Shastra is saying, what the divine has to do with this. When something goes here and there, we put it on them easily. We keep abusing, shouting, crying. You know, what they can do, you tell me. It's it's my story. It's our story. They have nothing to do with this. And trust me, in such moments, they are the ones who are so deeply concerned for us, actually. Now you will say, they are divine. They are God. They have power. Why can't they do anything? Why should they do anything to you, Babu? What did you do for them to do something? There is a natural law and it is progressing. Are you extraordinarily, you have done some kind of bhakti like Kannappa Nayanar? Are you a Prahalada? Are you a Dhruva? What you are, that you are expecting that they should break it for you. Rules are meant to be broken, true. There is no doubt about it, but it should have some meaning to break, right? Henceforth, please don't blame the divine. They have nothing to do with anything that is happening. They are just a sakshi. They are just seeing us, actually. They are not doing anything else. So, the powerful understanding comes now that karma only applies to the me story. But I should also tell you how to come out of this. Yes or no? It's very strong. It is very subtle, but at the same time, it is very, very easy in a way. How? As long as you all are going to think, or we are all going to think that I am Sai Srinivas Nandagopalan, I am Sharat Raj, I am Neelam Parab, I am Saurav Datta, I am Srividya Chandrasekhar, I am Gopinath, I am Sendil Kumar, I am Jyoti, I am Rama. I'm giving some few examples of the names I'm just seeing in the screen now. I am Geeta Ramakrishnan. You know, you will continue to suffer, or rather, we will continue to suffer. The limited individuality with which we are binding ourselves to this body, or to the things that we think so called belong to us, then the karma is binding us. The moment you want to shed this me story, that is the medicine for this karma as a disease that we are carrying actually. So the moment we realize that we are not this limited individual, then the karma starts dissolving. Just like realizing that you are just the movie character playing the required role, and there is a director behind, you know, who is making you to do things, and you are just appearing on the screen. When we realize that, then a lot of shift will happen in your life, students, actually. And now, having understood this bondage, the Shakta Shaiva traditions explains us how the divine itself becomes limited, because this is where we are entering into the teaching of the tattvas. What? The divine is becoming limited? Yes, because they are becoming limited, because they are coming closer to us, actually. They're coming closer to us. And coming closer to us means, it means the descent of the creation is taking place. The descent of creation is taking place. Yesterday, when I spoke to you in the introduction session, I left the session with the idea Shiva and Shakti becoming Prakasha and Vimarsha. Yes, now we will connect Prakasha and Vimarsha with the identity or the understanding as how Shiva and Shakti come together as one reality in creating this creation in itself. Shiva as the pure consciousness, that is Prakasha, and Shakti is the power of awareness and manifestation, Vimarsha. But before I get into this, I would like to talk about, in brief, that the Shakta tradition understands the fact that Devi is supreme, Devi is Parabrahman, and Devi is Parashakti. And as Parashakti, the first primary manifestation she does is Purusha and Prakriti. And this Purusha and Prakriti is what is Shiva and Shakti actually. She herself takes the form of Shiva and Shakti. Why I'm talking this is that because you're learning from Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya, it is a Shakta school. So you should understand this actually. It is not something to be debated or something to be, taken for a matter of pride or understanding. This is the philosophical foundation that we understand the Shakta Tattva or the Shakta understanding to be the supreme thought actually. Though there are Srividya theory schools which take Shiva to be the supreme and Shakti is a medium to take to that Shiva, but beyond the Srividya school of understanding, the pure Shakta Tattva dwells on the concept of Adi Parashakti. The Adi Parashakti means when the entire cosmos was, when there was complete nihilism was there in the cosmos, the first and the primary manifestation, the entire cosmos, when it wanted to take a form, that form was nothing but Adi Parashakti herself, or Jagannmata Srimad Chandika Mahatripura Sundari. One side she was having the aspects of Chandika, the fierce aspect of herself, and the other aspect was the Tripura Sundari, the motherly, form. Both a terrific combination of, the Rajasic and Tamasic coming together to become Sattva Tattva. And then she, with her desire, she further expands herself to create this, what is called as the universe. And that is to be the continuation of what is called as the descent of creation, which I'll be talking tomorrow in detail to all of you. Please understand, please make notes, please read about all these things. Whatever I'm speaking is very much available in a lot of spaces. Try to understand, try to assimilate, think on these lines, because these foundations are very important and essential. Because as I keep saying, Srividya is not just about these pujas, mantra diksha, or the guru or the parampara and everything. The understanding is very important for us, the philosophical foundations, because this is a life transforming upasana vidya, actually Shri and Vidya. Because I said Vidya is very limited. The moment Shri is added to that Vidya, it becomes auspicious knowledge, as I told you. So continue to learn this in a very systematic manner, because I am also trying to quote it as much as in sugar and give it to you, actually slowly and steadily. I'm giving it to you so that you take it, actually you take it and you apply it. Think about it, actually think about it and apply it in your life. For example, how do you apply it in your life? The first and the foremost thing I would say is that, when any action is happening, particularly any unpleasant action is happening, please do not react immediately. Actually look for it. Even if you have to express anger for that particular situation, think for a while and then you express your anger. You understand what I'm trying to say? Don't immediately react. Take a pause, actually think what you should do in this situation. you know think for it, because the moment you are reacting, then the limitations are making us further and further bounded to what is called as the future actions and reactions. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? It is becoming an endless cycle in all our life, students. You have to consciously put an end to this endless cycle that you have been caught into, actually. So the first and the foremost thing is that stop to react immediately. you know Take time to react. Number one. Number two, every day, you know every day, this exercise, even I followed, I still follow it, actually. Let me tell you, when I feel so limited, when there is a when there is an issue or when something is happening, what I do? I go outside our peetam outside, and I stand there and I look at the peetam and say to myself, I am feeling what the trouble is coming to me is because of me. This Peetam, whatever the small place we have constructed, I did it at a very young age. I was not even 30s when I constructed our Peetam, actually, at a very young. So I look into it, I say that, did I do this actually? It is done by Devi. So why am I taking the pressure upon myself? You know, this is not done by me. So everything that is happening at this moment is also not done by me. I am just a witness. She's giving the solutions. She's making me to do it. You know, However the results and reactions are, let me take it, actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? So the moment I feel limited, I look into the unlimited aspects that are there in my life, actually. And I recognize that at moment that no, let me not take the pressure. You know, let me go with it. Simply, slowly, and steadily. Devi is doing it, Devi will show the way. And I will just act accordingly. I am not the doer. I am not the thinker. I am not the solver. I am just a witnesser. And I will do it according to what she is doing. If you implement this, then what I said, the karma dissolving starts happening, because you are handing it over to her completely. You are making her responsible. You are not responsible, actually. This has to be practiced. And if this has to be mellowed down more, what you should do? You should start saying to yourself, I am not limited individual. I am not Sai Srinivas. I know that I'm not Sai Srinivas. I'm just having this identity temporary. This is not me. I have said this over years to myself. Will you believe it or not? I don't know. I say this, actually, morning, evening, night, in the school, college, wherever I am. I am not this. This is not me, actually. I am not this. Let me not stoop down to that level, actually. No, let me not do that. Let me not speak about that. Let me not think about it. Okay, my thoughts are coming in those directions. It is fine. Let me not pressure myself. Let me not force myself. It's fine. It's taking place. Devi is witnessing, Devi is seeing, Devi will guide me. Do this exercise, actually. You will see the change, actually. You will see this change as how you are mellowing down and how your entire environment is also coming to a shape, actually. You know, you stop thinking that you are the one who is controlling. That is the most heinous thing that we are doing anywhere and everywhere, actually. We are not the controllers. She is the one who is controlling. And this is the way to begin thinking of it, actually. The sense of, because we feel sense of limited, that's the reason we feel, we wanted to control things, actually. We wanted to gain a grip over things. We feel insecure, you know the entire sense of anger, the rage, and everything is because of that sense of limitedness that we feel, students. And the foundation thing Srividya teaches us is to come out of this limitation. And yesterday, you remember what we spoke, swatantrata. We have to lead to that, actually. And the entire mantra japam, puja, upasana, part, japam, and all these things are actually meant to be to push us to this dimension, students. Please use it for these dimensions, not for, the small things that are happening in our life. Everything will happen when the time has to happen. you know there is a reason that there is a reason why everything is put in a particular dimension. If it is happening or not happening, also leave it. You focus upon yourself. This place, you be selfish. You think for yourself. Unless and until you really want to come back into this world again and get caught into wherever you are again, or become worse, it is up to you. But if you really want to come out of this, this is the way to train ourselves. And we have to do it, unfortunately, with the circumstances in which we are living. We cannot run away. Running away is not the solution. And that is what Sri Vidya wanted us to do. The theories wanted us to lead this kind of a lifestyle. And slowly and steadily, it wanted us to progress. Even one step, we are progressing. If you are somebody who gets quickly aggravated, you know over this entire month, you are listening to this, and somebody is like pushing you so much, but you are maintaining your calmness. Though you are so upset, you are so annoyed, you are able to maintain your calmness. That is a great victory for me as a teacher, actually. Forget about doing all these pujas, mantras, parts, and everything, actually. Let us apply Sri Vidya to the living life, actually. We are all humans. We are all subjugated to emotions. We are all subjugated to our senses. We are all subjugated to the concepts of pain, pleasure. Let us work out on that. That is what Sri Vidya is all about. And let's start from there and start building slowly on the next levels. Welcome to the foundation classes. See you all tomorrow. Let's finish off with Mangalam. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trihambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swada Namostute Durge Smrita Harasi Bhiti Mashesha Janto स्वस्तै स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभान् दधासि धारित्र्य दुःख भय हारिणि का त्वदन्य सर्वोपकारकरणाय सधात्र चित्तः ॐ श्री दुर्गायै नमः सर्वं श्री चण्डी महालक्ष्मी अर्पणमस्तु तथास्तु. Thank you so much. See you in tomorrow's